Skull and Bones is a game that has been in development for 10 years, but it feels like it was made in 10 minutes. In this video, I'll tell you why this pirate game is a shipwreck and why you should probably avoid it at all costs. But before I get into the details, let me give you some background on this game and why I decided to give it a try. Skull and Bones is a ship battle game with a pirate theme, developed by Ubisoft. Ever since I saw the game revealed at the Ubisoft showcase back in 2022, I was so negative that I dedicated an entire video to it. I even said, don't buy this. And Ubisoft, you will not be taking any of my money. Now you're probably asking, if you said that, then why the hell did you play it? Well, Ubisoft had an open beta weekend, and I figured that since I was so harsh with my reaction, I should give this game a fair shake for what it is. So, what did I think of the open beta? Did it change my mind about the game? Did it make me want to buy it? Find out why I still say hell no and why you shouldn't buy this game either. Let me just say that I really went into the beta with an open mind. I knew and understood that this wasn't going to be a Black Flag sequel. It's a ship battle game with a pirate theme. So I honestly just wanted to see if the game was any fun. I've spent just over 15 hours in the beta. I reached the maxed infamy level allowed and explored in higher level areas that I really wasn't supposed to be in. I'm going to start with the main features before touching on the smaller stuff and end this with the final conclusion that collaborates everything together. Ubisoft promised us a game where we could create our own pirate story, and they delivered. Sort of. The main plot is simple. You start as a nobody and rise to become the most known pirate in the seas. Along the way, you'll encounter different factions and get involved in their conflicts over land and resources. That sounds exciting, right? Well, not really. The story is bland, forgettable, and your actions have zero impact on the world. So you really need to use your imagination to create your own story. One of the biggest problems is the lack of interesting characters. You meet a lot of NPCs, but they have no real personality or depth. They introduce themselves with about 3 lines of dialogue, and from then on, they only talk about the quest they are sending you on or the same repeating trait or dialogue. That's it. You don't get to know them, you don't get to care about them, you won't even remember their names. Unfortunately, it's not much better with the main story characters. They are just there to move the plot along. You can occasionally choose how to reply to them, but it has zero impact on the story. I know Ubisoft was attempting to create some type of chemistry between your character and those NPCs, but it just doesn't work and it feels awkward and out of place. It's a shame because this game has a huge and beautiful world full of not only NPCs but other players, and yet it still feels empty and lifeless. So what about the gameplay and missions? Well, they are pretty much what you would expect from a ship battle game. Go get this item, go deliver this item, go destroy these ships, go escort this ship, go plunder this city. While this would be okay, with the complete lack of any narrative or story content, every single mission feels the exact same, and this gets old really fast. Every mission rewards infamy, which is your pirate reputation. The more infamy you have, the more things you can unlock. And since your goal is to become the most infamous pirate, you are going to be grinding these missions a lot. If you want more quests to grind, there is a daily mission board and a bounty board. The bounty board gives you named captains to hunt down who are basically boss ships. Those are a little more enjoyable since it's a noticeable difficulty difference, but again, there's no real background or story with it, so it just feels like another grind. But let's talk about something positive. The ships in combat. Thankfully, this is where the game truly shines. There are quite a few different ships you can unlock, and each one has its own pros and cons. Each ship has a different layout for weapons and items, and you can customize them to your liking. There are plenty of cosmetics to make your ship look cool, and I'm sure they will add more with each Battle Pass season. The ship combat is also solid. The ships handle well, and there is enough weapon variety to keep things interesting. Swapping weapons is easy, and you can help keep the combat fresh by constantly experimenting with different combinations. Another positive is the ship crafting system. This is where you can upgrade your ship with weapons and items. Upgrades feel like upgrades, you can visually see the increased damage, and the overall appearance of the weapons changes with each level. The weapons also have different classes, so you can change them to do different types of damage. For instance, fire damage, flood damage, extra piercing, etc. There is additional gear you can install in your ship that adds extra bonuses like increased cannon damage or stronger repair kits. It's a satisfying system that rewards you for your progress, and it is fun. In order to upgrade your ship, you have to gather resources, and there are 2 ways of doing this. The most enjoyable way is by tracking down trade routes and destroying ships that carry what you need. You also have a second option, which is harvesting resource nodes that are scattered around the map. But these nodes are shared by all players, so if someone else has already taken them, you have to wait for them to respawn or just travel somewhere else. And when you do get to these nodes, you have to do a stupid minigame of stopping the tool in the green area in order to collect them. Ubisoft realized how dumb this was and actually gave you an option to turn this off. But then you have to ask yourself, like, why is it in the game in the first place when it adds nothing? Another resource-related aspect that I want to discuss is the refining system. This system turns your harvested resources into similar items that you can then use for crafting. For example, You go out and harvest teak wood, then take it to the refiner and they turn it into teak planks, which is what you can then use in your blueprints. However, it just seems like a pointless time waster of a system because there is no limit to how much you can refine, it only costs you minimal silver. So again, why is this in the game? As far as the land exploration and treasure hunting in the supposed pirate adventure, it is very disappointing. You can get treasure maps from various activities, but they are not challenging at all. They show you a picture of a map and tell you the exact location to go. You don't have to solve any puzzle, just sail to the destination. When you get there, you just follow the paths on the map until you see a big glowing light. That's your treasure. The land maps are very linear, restrictive, and they all have the same layout. There are 2 traders and a few groups of NPCs, but the only ones you can interact with are the traders. This is another shallow and unsatisfying experience in the game. The last major feature that I want to mention is the graphics and aesthetics of the game. I played at 1080p on max settings. The ocean and sailing are well done. They are not stunning, but they look very good. The sun glinting off the water, the waves, the explosions, the wildlife, the sea shanties. I had a lot of fun just sailing around the game, whether in third person, at the helm, or in the crow's nest. I have to admit that the storms were kind of a letdown. They didn't look that impressive. The huge storms do affect the wave patterns, which is cool, and a few times I had to steer my ship carefully to get through them. You can actually sink your ship if you hit too many big waves at a bad angle. But where are the water spouts or the giant maelstroms? The land graphics are decent, but nothing really stood out to me. But that could have also been influenced by my dislike of the land exploration in general though. Some final points. Trading goods is a good idea. Some items are more valuable to certain people and at certain times, so pay attention to who wants what, and you can earn some quick, easy silver. The inventory system is also well designed. You have your ship inventory in your warehouse. You can use crafting items from your warehouse without having to move them around. Playing with other players can be enjoyable, but it's not essential or rewarding. PvP mostly depends on who has the best upgrades. Hopefully they don't adopt a pay-to-win model, but it could very easily turn into that depending on what they add to their cash shop. The cash shop wasn't accessible in the beta, so I can't really comment. Here's my final conclusion. Skull and Bones is a disappointing pirate game that fails to deliver on its promises. Despite having a huge map with many activities and points of interest, the game lacks a compelling story, interesting characters, and meaningful choices. The cutscenes are frequent and repetitive, and the world feels static and lifeless. The game forces you to grind for resources and upgrades, but without any clear motivation or reward. I play World of Warcraft, so I know what a good grind is, and Skull and Bones is not it. The only redeeming feature of the game is the ship combat and sailing, which are well designed and fun. However, they are not enough to justify the high price tag and the additional battle passes. The CEO of Ubisoft claimed that this game is, and I quote, vast, complete, and a quadruple A game, end quote. But that is far from the truth. This game is unfinished and unpolished, and I don't understand how it took 10 years to make. It should be a free-to-play live service game because it doesn't have enough content or quality to be a AAA game. Please, do not support this game. You are only encouraging lazy game design. I'm sure I'll get some backlash from my review, saying how it's only the beta and you only put in 15 hours. But let's be real, this is the game. They aren't making any changes 5 days before release date. And in those 15 hours, the negatives greatly outweighed the positives. Even if the game really hits its stride at hour 16, why can't those previous hours be just as good? A casual gamer spends between 1 to 5 hours a week playing games. Even at the highest end, that means a player who buys this $70 game won't truly enjoy it until at least week 4. That's completely unacceptable. So what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments. Shout out to all these channel members. If you enjoy MMO content, consider subscribing to the channel. I primarily cover World of Warcraft, but I do like to play other MMO games and will review them. Smash the like button if you agreed, or the dislike button if you disagreed. I live stream here on YouTube and Twitch, links down below. If you want to show some extra support, become a channel member. It's 99 cents a month and gives you early ad-free access to all my videos, plus exclusive content. I'll see you in the next one.